Hi, so this is going to be a guide on pulling the lane. So what I've noticed is every time I pull the entire creep wave, the enemy support will always contest me because we've entered a stage in Dota where the tri-lane is dead and you don't really have that other support to now harass them, the solo offlaner, out of the lane while you just pull all the time. Now if you pull, they're highly likely just going to contest it, take the small camp and your creep wave, which isn't very nice, and you end up having brawls in this area. So what I've started to do is pull half the creep wave. I only pull the range creep and a melee creep. That is still most of the lane XP, and by the time the offlaner notices that you've done the pull, those two creeps are already dead and they've lost out. So I think this is much better than single pull. Not single pull, I mean this is much better than pulling a full wave, and you can even do it with a single camp. You don't have to stack, although the more you stack the camp, the faster your creep's going to die. Now for Radiant, the time is you want to hit this camp at 20 seconds and run in this direction.
Oh, yes. By the power of Goroth.
And then these two creeps will run at the camp. Now, when these meet the enemy, they'll probably start running there, and then it's too late, the creeps are dead. They can't really contest it. The only way they stop this is by stopping this camp from spawning completely, in which case they'll either have to put a ward there, which you can deward, or they'll have to put a body there. And if they put a body there, it means there's less harassment on your carry, which is a win for him. And it means that you can actually ignore them and just harass their offlaner. So that's how you can win the lane in the 2v1, just make use of those small advantages. The other thing they could do is farm the camp itself. So heroes like Doom or Underlord could probably do that really easily. You don't want that to be happening, so if you can't kill them while they're farming the camp and taking creep damage, the best thing to do is probably just to, again, use your 2v1 advantage in the lane and get your carry as strong as you can in those first few minutes of the game. I'd say there's a lot more room for error on the dire side. It feels like the easier one to pull. I generally just pull it when it's over there or something.
Yes.
And then these creeps should come. There normally isn't a siege wave, but yeah, you'll catch the last two creeps in the wave and then the siege creep is part of them. This is actually a better one than Radiant because the proximity of the creep camp to the lane, and also yeah, it's the same this way. This camp is further from the off lane than the Radiant camp is to their off lane, and it's closer to your pull spot than the Radiant camp is to their pull spot. So the creeps just end up dying faster.
You know I will.
And yeah, I don't recommend pulling siege creeps for this reason. They just sit here forever, and the enemy will end up farming your stuff. If you might have a stack like this, they'll just take it all. And generally a free siege creep kill, because your carry can't help you. Anyway, I'm making this video because I don't feel like enough people are doing this, and I think it's quite good. It should be done in every support game, I think. Especially in the
Trouble yourself now.
middle tiers of MMR, where I see a lot of players constantly single pulling, and because they're busy fighting the enemy and they're not concentrating on stacking, this is something that you could do, where if you just have a single camp, it will still pull half the wave and it'll die. It's also good at high levels, I think, and I don't see enough people do it, because the opponents will be aware that you are pulling and they'll contest it to stop it and hopefully get larger waves coming into them. But if you're able to actually go undetected and just pull the wave, if they don't notice you leave the lane, or if you have your carry pressure them, just for that small window of 10 to 15 seconds mark, and then you pull the lane from the 15 to 20 second. If you hit those 2 creeps and then walk back into the lane immediately through this way or through that way, your creep wave's gonna come with it, and you'll probably meet the offlaner here or the support here. And by the time he meets you, he has to fight with you to get to the camp. He'll see 2 creeps come. There's a possibility he walks away, or he might continue to the camp. But even if he continues to the camp, those creeps are most likely dead, because there were only 2 of them. Normally, the small camp has to go through this 3 melee creeps and a range creep. These melee creeps have a lot of HP and they have armor, where the range creep doesn't have any. So by reducing 2 melee creeps, you're actually making that group of creeps for that small camp to kill more than twice as easy. And at the same time, you're denying the range creep, so you're actually still denying way more than 50% of the lane XP. So try this in your games. It's not too difficult to do, and hopefully you'll see some success with it. Thanks for watching.